When you buy real estate, when you buy an investment property, you do not make money. That's how the transaction starts. And when you sell property, that's how the transaction ends. That time also you do not make money. You make money in between, which is the management process. There is a saying that money follows management. In this video, I am going to share with you 11 actionable steps that you can do and you can take during this management process that is going to help you to make your investment journey much more smoother. You will make a lots of money better as compared to others who do not follow this process. So if you want to become a better manager, then follow these 11 actionable steps. So the first step is inspect your property regularly. Yes, that's right. I know way too many people, they buy investment property and they never go to that property at all. In fact, they just hand it over to a property manager and then they believe that that property manager is just going to magically manage the property, everything smoothly. That does not happen in real life. You have to inspect your own property. It's your baby, it's your pet. So you need to make sure that you visit regularly, which means every 6 months or every 1 year, you must go and inspect the property. And yes, it's an investment property, so you might have to go with your property manager, but hey, whenever the property manager is actually inspecting the property, make sure that you go with them. And if you are an interested investor, make sure that you actually arrange that beforehand so that you can go on that day. Because inspecting the property, you will get to do a lot of things, and this just works. I have seen that by inspecting the property, there are a lot of things that you will pick it up during inspection, and you will have a better relationship with your property manager, and then you will see that your property manager also managing your property effectively. On the other side, if you do not inspect, if you have never been to that property, and if you believe that your property manager is just going to do everything, then that just does not happen, and then you will see you'll have a poor management system. So this is the step number 1. You must inspect your property regularly, at least once a year. The second point is that make sure you have face-to-face meeting with your property manager at least once a year. Why? Because having a face-to-face is actually create the relationship. Most of the time we talk over phone, and particularly if it is a interstate investment, even though it is not an interstate investment, I have seen that way too many people, they have investment property within the same city, same places where they're living, but they never meet their property manager. They always talk on phone and they believe that the property manager will do all these things perfectly. If you meet regularly and if you talk to them, if you understand, if you ask all these questions, you see that you create a relationship, and your property manager is actually manage your property better than the other properties that they are managing. Most of the investors do not meet their property manager. Most of the property manager have expectation, but they do not want to work hard. On the other side, you need to actually go and meet, and once a year at least, face to face, you can build a relationship with your property manager, and it works, and it has been working for me, and I would suggest that if you are not doing this, you must do this thing. The step number 3 is the revise your insurance premium once a year. Yes, that's right. When we buy our investment property, we take the insurance, right? Building insurance. There are way too many investors, they just buy an insurance. Once they have taken that, they just be there with them forever. And these insurance companies, they always increase the premium, and particularly if you never look back, if you don't actually negotiate with them and if you don't talk to them, they will every year keep on increasing it. And you will see that the time when you started and now maybe 5 years, 7 years down the line, it has gone up almost double or even more. But if you shop around and if you look and if you revise it, then you will be able to see that sometimes you get a better deal and some other, and sometimes with the same insurance company, if you pressure them, if you say that, oh, I am getting a better deal, they might reduce the premium as well. So this will be the actionable step for you to understand that you need to revise this regularly, at least once a year. I would put that in my calendar on this day or this particular month, I am going to revise my insurance, and if I am not satisfied with that, then I am going to go and switch to the other provider. Step number 4 is that pay your council rate on time. Yes, if you have a property manager, probably you have given them that, oh, when the council rates is going to come every 3 months or every 6 months, whatever the schedule that you have, then you actually ask your property manager to pay. Yes, pay that on time. If you are paying yourself, make sure that you pay on time. Then you sometimes you get a discount also by paying it on time, and that discount you want to avail it, because later on, no matter what, you have to pay the council rate, and if you don't pay the council rate, later on when you will sell the property and council rate, there will be nasty charges and the interest and fees. So make sure that you pay your council rate on time and you get the discount, and it is also better for your cash flow. You know how much actually this property is making money, because all your debt, all your expenses is being actually paid on time. So make sure that you always pay your council rate on time. Create a schedule every 3 months or whatever the council rate comes in. Then you, as soon as it comes, then you pay. If you pay by yourself, and if you have a property manager, make sure that they pay on time so that you get that discount. Number 5, track all your maintenance items. What do you mean by track? Every time you get a maintenance item, like you have been probably managing your investment property through a property manager, and the property manager might be asking, okay, there is a fix needed, or they have done the inspections and they want to fix something. Track all these things. Make sure that you put in your Excel sheet or any kind of software that you use, tracking all these things. Then you know if you have installed a new AC 2 years before, then you have that track of, okay, 2 years before you fix something, why it is broken now. Or even 5 years down the line, if you see what all maintenance items that you actually put into, then you have all this tracking. You would be amazed to know that most of the investors will not do this. They have no clue how much things that they have fixed, what are the things that they have done even 2 years, 3 years, 5 years down the line. And then suddenly the same expense might come, or it might be a tenant's fault, but they do not have the tracking system, so they do not know what are the things that have been fixed, and they try to keep everything on their head. On the other side, if you keep track of all these things, it will become a better management system for you, and you will be able to manage your property effectively. In fact, if you see the same issues, such as 1 or 2 years before you install an air conditioner in one property, and that property suddenly the air conditioner is not working, you might ask, you might find out what happened. Perhaps there is some issues, you might even contact the manufacturer, you might get something fixing for free, or it might cost you a little bit less as compared to replacing the whole unit. So tracking all the maintenance item is key, and you would be amazed to know that so many people will not do this, and as a result they will have a poor management system. Number 6, get multiple quotes. Yes, every time you have a maintenance item or something that needs to be fixed, make sure that you get multiple quotes. I see that most of the people, they take only one quote and they just go with that. In fact, they just rely on the property manager, and property manager is actually whoever they find, and they just get a quote and they just fix it. Sometimes their property manager might not even tell you what are the issues. They just send out email, you might not have checked that email, and they say, oh, this is the cost. I would suggest that once you know the maintenance item, you give your property manager clear instructions, which is every time there is a maintenance item comes in, particularly if it is above $100 or $200, make sure that you run pass through me, which is like you are of course the owner, and then you talk to the property manager, understand what is that issue, and ask them to get multiple quotes. By getting multiple quotes, you basically shopping around and finding out who is giving you the similar kind of service with a better price. And you see that by taking that multiple quotes and also telling the other, once you get that quotes, you can also negotiate going back to your preferred vendor, maybe that, hey, I'm getting another quote, can you match it? And oftentimes they might match it, and you would be able to reduce that price as well. So getting a multiple quotes an effective way, you can save a lot of money. Step number 7, you must assess your maintenance item thoroughly. What do you mean by assessment? If you have an investment property and your tenant might ask you a lot of things, particularly during inspection, you say, I want this, I want that, and I want to fix this, and you need to assess and find out what all maintenance items that you have to do. If there is a leakage, if there is a hazard, if there is a issue with the health and safety, then you have to fix this. But there are some items that you might not have to fix it now, because you know that if you keep it, you probably you will do it 1 year, 2 years down the line, because you need to manage your cash flow effectively as well. So the point that I would like to say is that make sure you assess it and find out if it is a must or if it is just a maybe, or if it is a must, then of course you have to do it. If it is a maybe, perhaps you can defer it. Just make sure that deferring this is not going to create a bigger problem. So knowing what is must and knowing what is maybe, and fixing the must and maybe deferring those maybe in a 1 year or 2 years down the line will be a good approach for you. Step number 8, make sure you do your tax return on time. Yes, that's right. It's always better to do tax return on time, because you never know when you need that tax return. I always say that I know there are people who actually do the tax return 2 years, 3 years down the line. There is always a lag, and whenever they are looking for an opportunity or want to buy something, they can't because of their tax return is not done. Always do tax return every single year it comes. So if you just do in advance, as soon as that year finishes, maybe prepare all these details and then give it to your accountant and do your tax return. If you are doing by yourself, make sure that you submit the tax return on time. Action number 9 is give some tenants incentives. Now for residential property, it is not too much. However, I still feel that the tenant will be much more happier, particularly during Christmas or any other festival time, if you give some sort of a gift hamper to them through your property manager. They will be really happy, because just by getting a little bit of incentive, they feel that their owner is actually taking care of them. They do care about that, and it can go a long way. Long way, it means that they will take care of your property as if their own, and that is what you want. Rather than saving like $100, $50, $200 gift, you will see that over a period of time, let's say 10 years, you have given $200 each gift, that is $2,000 only. But the way they will take care of the property and the way they will manage, most of the cases you will see you will save way too much than $2,000. You need to understand, you need to treat your tenant as a human being, as a people. So the more you care, the more you see that okay, they are actually helping you with your investment journey. The fact that you are actually making money through real estate because they are staying in the house. So there is two ways to look into it. One is that you are providing accommodation, and at the same time they are actually helping you to improve your financial journey, to improve your investment journey. So giving a small incentive, particularly during Christmas time, it can go a long way. I would highly recommend, I would highly suggest that if you are not doing this, do this from this year onwards. And number 10, make sure that you manage your managers. What do you mean by manage your managers? You have employed a property manager. Particularly if you have investment property, you must employ a property manager, a licensed real estate property manager who would manage your property. Now, how do you manage your property manager is an effective strategy. In fact, that is going to make your performance of your investment property better. What you can do is knowing what your property manager should do, what are the things that they must do, and whether they are doing it or not is something that you need to track, is something that you need to manage, which is why manage your property managers. I do not recommend that you actually manage your investment property on your own. That's not your effective way of spending time. Your effectiveness is to manage those managers, whoever is managing your investment property, and then make sure that they are doing those stuff so that your overall managing and your property is performing better as compared to the other investments where the other owners do not do these kind of things. And last but not the least is treat this as a business. Your investment will be as a business. It means that you strive to make profit. A business, just like any business, we strive to make profit. Similarly, investment is also kind of business, and in investment we want to make profit. We might defer some of the profit, but at the end of the day, it is a business. It is where you make money, and your goal is through this investment you want to improve your finance. These are the 11 steps. If you do, then your investment journey would be much more smoother and you will make more money than the average investors. Which of these actions you already take and which of the actions you do not, put in the comment section. I love to see those comments. I hope you find these videos helpful. If you like this video, consider subscribing my channel, turn the notification bell on, and Share with others who you find that might be helpful with this video.